filmed this video because recently I've started taking action in my life by filming these videos, by starting a YouTube channel, which I really wanted to do for the longest time. So let's start off with the concept of change. Most of the time changes can attract new changes, so if you really need to eliminate some habits of yours or maybe start incorporating new habits into your life, then I would definitely recommend to bring in some freshness by creating certain changes yourself, sort of artificially. So if you can travel to a different city for a couple of days or maybe even one day, or if you've been planning to move into a different apartment, then by no means go for it, because this type of changes is exactly what you need to create new change in your life. And trust me, you will immediately recognize the feeling of waking up in a different city or waking up in a new apartment. It's so easy to get inspired in a new environment. So if you really don't know what to do with yourself to finally get things going, then just go for it. But if you cannot afford traveling, then there are still plenty of options. For example, move the furniture in your house, move the furniture in your room, clean the entire place you live in and call all of your belongings. This one is very powerful if you cannot seem to get it together and finally start taking action. The next one is a very short one. Just write a list of positive affirmations and expressions concerning certain aspects of your life that you would like to change or improve. And especially if you found yourself thinking negatively about those things, make sure to rephrase every single one of those negative thoughts into something positive. For example, I cannot seem to get anything done, and whatever I start doing, I never finish it. The opposite would be something like, I do my job with passion and I always successfully finish every project I start. The next one is hiding in plain sight, but still sometimes we just completely forget that the fear of stepping out of your comfort zone will take you nowhere in life, and it certainly won't take you where you want to be. So if you know that you've been hiding from something important by procrastinating it further and further, then just remind yourself that if you don't start taking action, you'll probably stay wherever you are forever and ever. You know how we sometimes find ourselves thinking, okay, I'll start doing this next week, promise. And then you look back and you realize that it's been a year since you got that idea. The next two go sort of hand in hand, and those would be writing down everything you do throughout the day. So if you know that you've already wasted like 5 hours on social media, make sure to write that down. This will give you a clear perspective on whatever you've been doing with your life, what prevents you from achieving your goals, what prevents you from even starting to take action to achieve your goals, where your time is being wasted. And from my experience, chances are that you will find out that you did absolutely nothing to achieve your goals. And the one that goes with it, keep a diary for your children to read. Whether you already have kids or maybe you're planning to, maybe you want to have kids in like 3 years or something. If you have a big goal, a dream that completely changed your view on life, then writing down certain memories about certain steps of your way will be both inspiring and exciting. Personally, I feel a huge responsibility to sort of present my kids with the world I want them to have, the one I want them to live in, if that makes sense. And in my vision, it requires a lot of different things. So when I'm writing down certain memories for my kids to read later on, I feel even more encouraged every day to move forward, to do more, to do it better, so that my children would have a certain life. So keeping these notes and knowing that my kids will actually read them, very encouraging and very inspiring for me. But obviously you gotta be serious about it and not like, okay, so I started doing this, but then I sort of stopped and I threw the whole thing away. But if you don't feel that responsible or serious about it yet, then just have fun with it. Just think about your kids while you're writing down certain memories, jokes, facts about something popular or relevant right now. Just things for them to laugh about later on when they read it. What is this made of? Isn't it illegal? to have those. The next two are extras, the ones that are sort of obvious but not really. Some people do neglect those, so I've decided to mention those too. Create your own vision board with the prettiest pictures you can find, and make sure it's always in plain sight. Better be something not too abstract, something that you can achieve in a certain period of time or something. And also plan way ahead. Define your important goals for a monthly period, a 3-month period, a 6-month period, a year, and 5 years. So the furthest you go is 5 years. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What you want to do? Who you want to become? That would be your ultimate goal, or goals maybe. And then break that down into actual steps you will take to get there. Another short one, something that a lot of people have been mentioning, is if you work from home on a computer, just go to your local library or a coffee shop. Try working from there. Such a change of environment can really be very inspiring and refreshing, and also you won't get off track because of watching TV or the comfort of your own bed or the purring of your own cat. Okay, the next thing I want to talk to you about is a pretty famous quote. No one will remember you for your thoughts. As many brilliant ideas as you may have, the reality is no one will ever find out about their existence until you create that product or service, until you film that video and post it, until you create that content, wherever it may be. So if it only exists in your mind, it does not exist at all. And this is a huge one for me personally, because my planners are bursting with different ideas. Sketches, movie scripts, video ideas. And should anything happen, I know perfectly well that all those ideas, all those things I really wanted to tell you guys, all those questions I wanted to ask you, all those things I wanted to attract your attention to, they will all disappear if I don't film it and post it. Having ideas and not sharing them is the same as not having any ideas. Being able to do stuff and not doing it is basically the same as not being able to do stuff. No results, no nothing. And as depressing as it may sound, you never really know if there will be a new tomorrow for you. I'm sure we all have examples in our lives of people who just do it. They do not ponder if they are good enough. They do not doubt whether they have the abilities. They just get up and do it every day fearlessly. And chances are you know them exactly because they're doing what they do. And I personally find myself doubting every word I say, although I really do believe in what I have to say. But still, I doubt and try to estimate everything I do. For the next 2 tips, I'm really glad to quote a great YouTuber, and I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Do it the best way you can right now, and you still have your entire life ahead of you to do it better. We all have our inner perfectionists who keep telling us not to post those videos because they're not perfect, not to approach those people because you're not ready yet, not to discuss your projects with those people because you're not qualified to work with them anyway. In these cases, I simply remind myself that this video that has a couple of drawbacks but was still made with good intentions is 1,000 times better than that perfect video I never made and never posted. Remind yourself that you get to do it. It's a great tip for whenever you find yourself procrastinating. Just change the I have to do this pattern of thinking into a I get to do this. Some people simply do not have the opportunity to do whatever you do in life, to work where you're working. So always remember to appreciate what you get to do in life. Next, call it whatever you want, it takes different forms, but if you find yourself driving around all day long, doing miscellaneous things, or maybe mapping out your entire future for 5 days in a row, then you gotta reevaluate that stuff. Doing all those things and being busy all day long may seem like something very different from lying in your bed and watching Game of Thrones all day long. But again, at the end of the day, you didn't get this closer to your dreams and goals. So once again, track down all of your activities throughout the day. If you enjoy doing some of those things, just remember that in the end, you won't regret missing that particular sale. But chances are you're going to feel sad thinking that you didn't create enough in your life to leave behind. To me, that is the key difference between consuming and creating. And I believe that George Lucas mentioned the same things, the same concepts as pleasure and joy. I definitely recommend for you to listen to Beyoncé's I Was Here, and if you don't really understand the lyrics right away, I would recommend to read the lyrics simultaneously as you listen to the song. Trust me, it will change your perspective on life and your contribution. Next, keep your activities balanced. Nothing is good for you if there is too much of it in your life. What I say in this video does not mean that you're gonna have to give up all kinds of entertainment or consumption of information or content or pleasure and just work for the rest of your days without rest. What I personally do is combine certain types of activities that I find too pleasing but not too productive with something that is still important to me. And my most important statement of all, productive people are not watching this video right now. They're simply changing their lives and the lives of other people by taking action. They are doing stuff they define for themselves as important. And so should you. Get to work, baby.